The Hash It Out Show is brought to you by Pareto Home Solutions, Bayou Audio and Video, Hot Works on the North Shore, JFK Martial Arts in Mandeville and Covington, Black Hawk Hauling, Lil Dizzy's Cafe, Wags Food and Culture, Moe's Pizza, The Green Law Firm, Personal Injury Attorney, Drums Earwear.
Hands up, hands up. If you winning and you don't give a fuck about a hater, tell them move. Move, move, move. Cause I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. 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 Hands up, hands up. If you winning and you don't give a fuck about a hater, tell them move. Move, move, move. Cause I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning.
Welcome to a special edition of the Hash It Out Show. I am your host that's under the weather, but I'm here. The one, the only, JB the Sports Guy. Special edition. We going through the playoff brackets, all 8 classes. And we're also going to give you who we think will make the semifinals. The 4 teams that will make the semifinals and who could be a surprise team that could also make the semifinals. And also, we will give y'all our overall top 5 teams for the last time this season. But before we go on, I'm joined by my 2 co-hosts. You can catch this guy on CrescentCitySports.com, the one and only VK Jones. What's up, VK?
What's going on, people, not just all our regular fans, but we like to welcome everybody in the state of Louisiana who is watching this show. And I hate to say it, this is the best pairing show you're going to see. Not what we seen earlier today. I'm sorry, no knocking the LHSAA, but
Oh my God.
please. Whoever come on appearance, you need to know who everybody teams are and everything else. Check your mascots, please. Thank you very much. I'm sorry. Plain and simple, it's an insult to us journalists who have done this for a long time.
Hey,
But
man, I'm
appreciate it.
trying to get my badge for the dome, man.
I know.
I
put this
know
pressure on
that.
me, man.
I know that for you, but for me and George, it just had to be said because trust me, it's annoying when some people forget and it be like, or not just forget, they don't know, and it's like, wait a minute, bro, did you do your research before you came on there? Just saying, bro, it's simple work, and people sometimes, but it's not. They didn't do it the whole time, but it is what it is. But we thank y'all for joining because we're gonna give you a breakdown of everything. Like, tag, share, and subscribe to Hash It Out Show on all social media platforms, and go to the hashitoutshow.com. We're gonna give it to you straight up
I
tonight.
got some breaking news. It's all, hey, we'll say it later on the show. Just know Friday night is set in stone.
I got it too.
Hot dog.
I got it too.
So, all right. Also, CrescentCitySports.com, the one, the only GP, George Peppers. What's going on, brother?
Hey, brother. How do I follow that up? I mean, but BK and Jared and I were messaging each other live during that quote show, and I didn't know Cecilia was the Lions, and I sure didn't know Jawan Johnson played for St. Thomas More. Oof. My goodness. I mean, oh, there we go. Charles Allen already with the nonsense. I do want that smoke. Come get it, big boy. Y'all coming to my house Thursday night. And y'all better pay the rent. That's all I'm gonna tell you. Y'all better pay rent. But I do want to pay kudos to Bryce Brown. I don't know if y'all saw what he did at the end of the game Friday night against John Curtis. He went up to JT and they gave him some gifts or some sort as a big acknowledgement for 622. And look, we know where we stand on it, but there was a reporter actually at the game that tried to bait JT Curtis into a confrontation. And I saw that on Twitter, and using piggybacking off what VK Jones said, JB, as journalists, that he and I have been at this at almost 18 years. That guy should have his credentials revoked for what he did. That was completely crass and unprofessional. But to Bryce Brown, we tip our hat to you, man. I know you got spanked, but I'm gonna tip my hat to you because you showed a lot of class and you gave the right acknowledgement. So, and to John Curtis and to JT Curtis, congratulations. I'm going on record. 622. Congratulations, coach. Well deserved.
Well, George, you actually brought us into the first segment of our show. I wanted to talk about Coach JT winning the game against Edna Carr this past Friday night. Win number 622. Congratulations, Coach, on in my eyes, VK eyes, George Pepper's eyes, and a lot of other people's eyes on breaking the national record for high school football wins. So congratulations on that. But my question to you two guys, why you guys saw the videos? Why didn't some members of the media, why didn't they just let JT have his moment? Why they had to bring up the forfeiture of 30 wins and so on? Why? That was to me was not the right timing to ask him that. He just won a game. In his eyes, he broke the record. In many people's eyes, he broke the record. Let him have his moment, and down the line, then ask him about the questions. But to ask him that question right then and there, not from one reporter, more than one, I thought that was a slap in his face, George Peppers.
Completely unprofessional. Completely. But I love what JT did on Friday Night Football. I watched it back. Me and VK were in transit back from South Plaquemines. We did that game of the week against Jefferson Rise. And congratulations on both teams making the playoffs. South Plaquemines will host. Jefferson Rise will travel. But second year program making the playoffs. So kudos to them. And kudos to everybody that's going to be playing next week. Um, VK, you and I have been at this a lot longer then and it's not a slight on Jared. Jared, you are making tremendous strides, dude. Tremendous. And the work you have put in, this show is wouldn't be where it is without your vision. And with our experience, it is a great match. But you just learned lesson number one in post game reporting. Never set bait and never use agendas to gain some kind of favor. That is the complete unprofessional way of doing it, and there is a long-time journalist, long time, I have the utmost respect for, but his hands are in this as well. BK, I hate to say this, dog, but remember the paper that broke the story, the Clarion Ledger. Who writes for the Clarion Ledger?
Ron Ricardo, right?
Ron Boccato. His hands are in this. Me and Emmanuel had this discussion earlier today. My brother, who's a diligent worker with the original and CrescentCitySports.com as well, he'll be a part of the state championship coverage in 4 weeks' time. But if you're telling me he doesn't have his hands in this too, come on now. Let's not be naive. I love the man to death. I have the utmost respect. But agendas should not be served at this level. These are kids. And JT Curtis has been a master craftsman at his profession for 54 years, longer than I've lived. Jeez. I mean, VK, where am I wrong here? Where am I wrong?
I don't think you're wrong on it at all, George. But to me, I'm gonna say this. This is the only way I'm gonna describe it. Anything else? Was the story bad timing? Yes. Was Ron Ricardo wrong? I can't say that because
I can.
I can't
He's
say
the editor.
he is the editor, but I can't say that because all journalists has a job to do. And the
Yes,
thing
but
is,
it
and the
he
thing
was
is,
wrong in the timing of it.
the
That
timing
could
was
have been done way in
the
advance.
no, but at the same time, the fault is not of Ricardo. That's the LHSAA. They reported it to Ricardo. They reported it. So at the same time, if Ron Ricardo don't get that call or those information, the story don't come out. The story don't come out at all. That is all, and some of it, yeah, is on Ricardo, but I'm not gonna put it because a lot, and I've seen it over the years with stories. news and sports, and I look at it at the end of the day, that person got to do the job. And what happened is some journalists, they might have so much integrity and might be like, hey, I'm not gonna break this till I get some proof, some God honest proof that this going down. And some won't break it because they might know that person so well, and they're like, damn, I don't want to do this, but I gotta do the job. I don't want to do this, but it's too much right there. I gotta. What happened was, and you look at the story, there was so much evidence in it that some had to come out. Like I said, if Ron don't get this information, it don't break. It don't break at all.
Wait a minute. Okay. I got to respond, JB. What are we saying here? First of all, this was a story that was settled in 2021. Final appeals were heard. But yet, in advance of week 10, he gets a hold of this and decides to put it out there in a credible newspaper. Come on now. It is what it is, Q. I hear you. But let me be honest. I love the man to death. I have the utmost respect for him. But it's no secret how he feels about John Curtis, the program. It's no secret, JB. It's no secret. You and I both know it's no secret. So I feel like, Jared, that there's some agendas being at play here. And the reporter that interviewed JT Friday night on FNF, Friday Night Football, dude, that was completely crass. He's not the only one. Like you said, there were a multitude of people trying to get an answer. It's like,
and one guy say, no, JT, you've been in the game a long time. Be professional. I'm like, how dare you have the audacity to tell Coach Curtis to be professional when you're the one being unprofessional?
The unmitigated goal.
Yeah.
Now, here's my question. On that particular question, Jared, who the one asked that question?
I don't know the man.
I forgot. Me neither. I don't know him either.
All right. What was he from? That's not the one that was from WGNO who did the story, right?
No,
definitely not.
No.
Okay. Now I don't know whoever that person is who asked that question, but he need to get his head examined. I'm freaking sorry. This is a moment. You don't ask that question. You keep your mouth closed and just ask how you feel on this moment. How you feel. Now, the one question would be a good question. How does it feel that the school y'all taking an approach that y'all still gonna honor? That'd be a nice question, because like, okay, y'all taking it upon yourselves. And, just want to know why you want to do that. That's fine. But everything else, all this other stuff, that's don't disrespect the man. And I tell you right now, all these undercover freaking John Curtis haters. Yes, I'm gonna say it.
Oh God, here we go.
I'm sorry.
Here we go, baby.
It's coming out. All you got, dog.
Let it fly, VK. Let it go. Let it go.
I'm letting it go. My thing is
Come on.
Look, if you feeling good that JT Curtis get his all just desserts, finally get punished because all this other stuff, go screw yourself.
Oh, Jesus, bro.
Go
screw yourself. Fans that don't like Curtis, and you telling them go screw them. Come on, man. Come on, bro.
I'm being straight up, because plain and simple.
We love our fans, though. Don't do that.
No. Listen, we're not talking about the fans here on that watch this show.
But if you saying if they hate JT,
I'm talking about
them fans. We don't know.
Listen. I'm talking about the people I done seen over the years. We talking about before Hash It Out, that had a disdain and hate for that program.
Jared, he's right.
Hate.
He's right.
And plain and simple, I get tired of it. I was once believed in it, but until I met the man and got to know him, it changed my entire mind. My entire mind on JT Curtis and John Curtis's program. So my thing is, respect to the check-in. It's your opinion, it's fine. But to wish upon it, it's ridiculous. And look what's going on. That's ridiculous. And I love what John Curtis did. And I love how his son's carrying it. I love it. There's the fact they're telling the state, forget y'all. Y'all not going to dictate how we run our program. You're not going to dictate how we going to celebrate. Love it.
All right. And there are fans here who do not like JT Curtis from before the Hash It Out show to now. On behalf of the Hash It Out show and VK Jones, I do apologize to y'all. All right. Now we're going to move on to the top 5 overall teams. All right. Fans, I love y'all.
Here
I
we
do.
go.
We're nothing without y'all. All right.
No, we love the fans. Don't get me wrong. We love the fans. We're not talking about y'all. We're talking about the haters over the years before we came with Hash It Out.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
before
all
we,
we're
be-
talking
Yeah,
about.
but VK, they still hate now, even with us being here.
Of
but
course.
So
But
then,
that's
but
how I feel about it. And
I
I'm
understand how you
sorry.
feel. I get you. I get how
That's
you
how I
feel.
stand.
But then we got these fans watching, and you
that's
call them out,
passion.
y'all haters, and be like,
But
"Oh man, forget him.
all
Then
I
forget about
know,
us.
all I
We
know,
need them. We need our fans."
we do need our fans, but at the same time, if I gotta respect your opinion, respect mine.
Okay, but
That's
there's
it.
other ways. There's other ways to say it. There's other ways to
There's
say it.
no
Instead of saying,
there.
screw,
What other
screw
Kill 'em with
y'all.
kindness, right,
what
JB?
other way to say
Kill 'em
it?
with kindness.
Just
What other
say,
say?
just look.
Kill 'em with
This way,
kindness
you
is
be
what?
like this. Hey, to those that hate him, I'm not a hater. I disagree with how y'all feel. There's certain other ways to say it and say, screw y'all. No, not to our
Yeah,
fans, VK.
that's too harsh.
I say that because I have seen it over the years, but not just with JT, but people with hatred in their heart for other things. Like shout out to Coach Toe. He pointed it out for people who hated on in the car.
Yes.
And that's what I'm
He
saying.
pointed it out, but did he say screw y'all, mother F y'all, any of that?
No.
Did he say any of that?
I listen to me. I'm saying it. I'm saying it.
Ooh.
I'm saying it in love because it's just the fact of the matter is sometimes you have to humble yourself and understand that hate ain't good in your heart. It's just not.
Who told you
It's
that
not.
same sentence? Who told you that same sentence?
What you talking about? I've been knowing about this for years, even before you told me.
No, who told you it
Oh
doesn't have hate
Lord.
in your heart? You know what I'm talking about.
What you talking about?
Uh-oh. I think I know where
George, you
this is
remember this?
going.
George, you remember?
Do I?
Oh,
Absolutely. Come on, VK.
WBOK? WBOK.
Hmm.
Who told you get the hate out your heart?
And I ain't got no hate. I got number love. I forgive people.
Nobody's
That's the thing about me.
Come on,
man.
let's move on to the
I tell you,
let's move on to the top five.
look. I don't hate nobody. I'm telling you how I feel about it.
Oh.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't look. I have number love for all the fans. Okay, plain and simple. Let me rephrase it to make you feel better, Mr.
Please.
Ford. I'm gonna rephrase it to you.
Thank you.
To the people out there, and I apologize. I don't mean to say it. Screw you. You can go mess yourself, but I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna say this. You should stop hating on the man. Stop hating the program. But at the same time, respect the program, respect the man,
Oh.
respect is what they have done. Just give the man respect. That's all. If you hate him, fine, but y'all got to stop it. He's proven everyone wrong. That's all, and you just got to deal with it.
All right, moving on to our overall top 5. Shout out to my boy, Romo Raider, Jaden Martin, number 8. They call him Speed. There he is. He said he's late, but he's here. That's my boy right there. Shout out to Jaden Martin. Thank you
All
for
right.
joining us, my good friend.
You got Rumble people coming to the show, and I'm talking about, man.
I have no hate towards Rumble. I mean, I did go to Shaw. That's our rivals, but I don't have no hate towards them. Logan Diggs, my cousin, went there. It's love, man. Just when we play each other. The week we play each other, like, hey, that's what it is. After that, it's all good.
Just
Me and
like
Jaden Martin, we go back and forth and on Instagram DM, man. You know, when he got hurt, I checked up on him, see how he was doing, and he's doing good.
See, that's love. That's love
Yeah.
right there. That's
Yeah.
love. Like we show love for each other when St. Augustine Shaw go on the field. It's war, but after it's handshakes, it's laughs.
That's it. Exactly. All right, everybody. Do our top 5s right quick and get to those brackets. So here we go. We'll do mine first. And there you have it. Right there. My top 5. Rustin, number 1. Destrehan, 2. St. Thomas More, 3. Edna Carr goes from 1 to number 4. And moving on into my top 5, St. Charles Catholic. Anything y'all got to say about my overall top 5?
I do.
You got it.
First off, as much love as I showed Bryce Brown, that was a shellacking he took the other night against the John Curtis team that got beat by Jesuit
Hold on, hold on,
and
right quick.
Rumble.
Hold on now.
Holy,
Now I got my Shaw Eagle here also. Jaden Scott. What's up, Jaden Scott? I see you, baby. I'm glad
Oh,
you're
well,
here.
good.
All right, boy. We getting
what's up, Jaden?
Jaden Scott in the
Yes,
building. My
sir.
dude. That's what's happening.
And
Enjoy all that. Yep, my dog,
I
your
seen,
boy. There we go. All right. Go ahead, George. I'm sorry. Go
uh,
ahead.
first of all, I
You know,
seen
Jaden
Reginald
Scott
Johnson
don't
in
make
the
my top
building.
five. But it's all good.
I,
Go ahead.
first of all, I seen Reginald Johnson in the building too. Have my 20 ready for me. You know what I'm talking about. Just saying. Um, looking at this top five in structure, um, see, that's where I have a problem with it. Kenny just took my thunder because Ruston lost on the field of play. So you telling me Destrehan that went through undefeated is a lesser team than Ruston, a team they beat last year in the Superdome, Jared? I would have had Destrehan in front of them 1 and 2 if I'm doing this poll. And in the car, staying in the top five, I get what they've done, but that was a humiliating beatdown at the hands of John Curtis. Um, St. Charles is five on your poll. St. Thomas More, I knew would get back in because that was an impressive comeback at Lafayette Christian. It was a back and forth game, but my issue is, eh, it's apples and oranges really. But I think I disagree with 1 and 2. I would have flipped that around.
I understand that.
So in other words, I'm asking, explain it.
1 and 2, you can go either way. I totally understand how you looking at it. Bergen dude 26, number 26. This Bergen dude for Shaw, number 26 for Shaw. Is that you? Only 26 I know. That where my brother number. But I look. I have no problem with Dexter being number one or Russell being number two. I can see how you look at it. They did lose to Warren Easton on the field, yes, but I didn't go by that. I didn't go by it. If I did, it's a different story. But
Right.
went by records and everything. And that big win over LCA for Ruston is still huge in my eyes. So that's why they up there. I had STM, I think, fifth. They move up with the big one over LCA. Carr, I dropped him down, and St. Charles move in. That's how I got it. VK, any thoughts about mine?
I don't have a problem with it. I think this is a very good top five indeed. The Edna Call law. I understand what George is saying, but I'm sorry. It ain't like they lost to a nobody. And I'm gonna say it once. I'm gonna say it again. This was probably the best year the Catholic League has ever freaking seen.
In a long
That's
time.
how tough the district was. You cannot completely punish Edna Carr and take them out top five. I'm
Hmm.
sorry. You cannot. It's the fact that they lost to a good team and the defending state champions. So I'm like this. You'll see the other top fives and how they go, but at the same time, I don't have a problem with yours. It's a good one, JB.
All right. We're gonna go to George Pepper's top five now, right quick. And here we go. He has Destrehan number one, Ruston two, St. Thomas More three, St. Charles Catholic four. He has Calvary Baptist in at number five. I don't really have a problem with it, but I don't know if I would have Calvary Baptist in there before Edna Carr or even maybe um, Holy Cross and John Curtis. But that Calvary Baptist 10-0 does say a lot. So I don't really have a problem with it. I think I would have Edna Carr in there before them. What you can say, VK.
I think this is a really good top 10 from George. I think it's really good. I'm gonna give him that. I had Calvary Baptist on the cut line. I have him right there on the cut line to get to the top five. I really did. For you to put him in there, George, that's big time, man. I'm gonna give you a lot of credit for that. This is a very, very good top five.
Let me explain why Edna Carr is out. And this is no slight on the Catholic League. That league has been stupendous this year. It is one of the great years they've had in their recent history when three of their top teams, four of their top eight are top eight seeds in Division One. Holy Cross, Brother Martin, Curtis, Carr. So all four of those teams are top eight. So I get that, but When you get beat on the field of play by 34 points to a team that's lost twice on the field, just punish. I don't want to say punishment because that's kind of harsh. I'm not VK, Jared. I don't want to. I don't want to go telling people that stuff. But the reason I have Calvary Baptist and look at their schedule again,
Yep.
outside of district. They're
Yep.
not afraid to schedule up. They beat Westgate. They beat Sterlington. Sterlington is a team that when we get into these brackets is going to be a team that we have a major
And they
discussion on.
beat Captain
Westgate.
Shreve. Another 91.
Yes, they did. And Captain Shreve is 9-1. The Cavaliers don't need to answer any questions from me. The legitimacy of them, the district, it's not their fault. It's not their fault. They've just ransacked that district. But it sure sets up that potential Division Three, maybe a final with St. Charles and Calvary. I mean, that's what the prognosticators are going to tell you. That's what your novices are going to tell you. But as we get into these brackets, I feel like there might be an apple cart or two that might be upset somewhere. I kind of done my research. So that's a tease, ladies and gentlemen. And I want to see VK's top five. I already saw it, but let's see it.
All right. Now VK's top five. VK's his top five been questioned the most since we've been doing it. But here it is, everybody.
And how?
VK's top five. There it is. St. Charles Catholic is number 1. Ruston 2.
What?
STM 3. Destrehan 4. Edna Carr 5. I would have St. Charles Catholic number 5. That's just me. George, what do you think of VK's top 5?
What are you smoking? I'm kidding. All jokes aside. Listen, VK, I'm one of the biggest fans of Wayne Stein and St. Charles Catholic. I've said this ad nauseum to the both of you consistently that this is the best finishing kick team in the state. They did it again Friday night, scoring 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter to put away Isidore Newman and shut them out. That's impressive. But to tell me that they're better than 2, 3, and 4, I don't think so. 2, 3, and 4 is a hodgepodge. You can put them anywhere you want. Edna Carr staying at 5. I get it. Look, I just decided to put him out because of the 34-point beating at the hands of John Curtis, a team that lost to Rummel and Holy Cross. Rummel is not near the team they were. Holy Cross is the number 1 seed in Division 1, but they got there through calamity. My issue is with St. Charles being number 1. I don't think they're better than 2, 3, and 4 on the field of play if you're going to hypothesize. Other than that, it's a solid top 5. I mean, all 5 teams deserve it to be there, but I think you have the wrong team at the time, Jared.
VK.
Well, I'm going to respond to this. Edna Carr was on the cut line. So
they were with Calvary. You already mentioned that.
Yes. Destrehan,
right.
Last week, who did they beat?
Last week?
Who did they beat?
That lost to Terrebonne.
Huh? Oh, they beat Terrebonne. They beat Thibodeau. They beat Thibodeau.
No, they beat Thibodeau.
They beat Thibodeau. So that's who they beat last week.
I'm sorry.
Team that's not even.
Who beat Terrebonne from 21-0 down?
It don't matter because they're not making the playoffs. Thank you very much.
Oh, wow.
They're not making the playoffs.
They're in the playoffs.
Really?
Thibodeau's in the playoffs. Yes.
You got to be kidding me.
They're at 20. No, I'm not. They're in.
That I don't know what you mean a hater. I didn't know that. I'd have been shocked that Terrebonne made it. I'm not trying to knock, but I think.
Wait, the Terrebonne made it or Thibodeau made it?
I'm going to shock. Thibodeau made it.
They're in. They're in, though. But everybody gets into the LHSAA.
Wow.
All right, back to your
back to what I'm saying. Back to what I'm saying.
Back to your rebuttal.
Destrehan, like Thibodeau, not a good opponent. They did what they were supposed to do. STM won a showdown, a 1 versus 2 showdown. And they're still the defending champs and they're still undefeated. They're number 3. Ruston won a 1 versus 2 district showdown. And for them to get a number 1 seed, and they had to win at West Monroe. So guess what? You get rewarded for that. St. Charles Catholic, they're number 1 for a reason only. Probably the most impressive, and I don't care what you think, the most impressive resume of all the teams going in the playoffs. I'm going to read you the schedule. And I'm gonna read you.
We don't need a schedule. We don't need a schedule.
We don't need it. We know.
You don't need it.
No.
Okay, cool.
No.
And here's the thing. And guess what? The one thing I was right on. Where St. Charles Catholic is in the playoffs coming up in Division 3?
They passed
Thank
Calvary. They're the
you.
one
Number
seed.
one. I said it myself. They defeat Newman, they're going to 1. The district is tougher. They have 3 teams out the district in postseason, plus their schedule with 6, make it now 7 teams they have beat in the top 20. I'm sorry. That is an unbelievable resume in itself. I'm telling you, that's why they're my number 1. Ruston's 2, STM is 3. They all get rewarded for the great performances they had last week.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's get to what you are here to see, the brackets. We're going to start with Division 1 Select. So let me get to it right quick, ladies and gentlemen. And there you have it. 4 buys in Division, well, I'm in non-select. We'll start with non-select. 4 buys in Division 1 non-select. Ruston, number 1 seed. Airline.
Your screen is not
It's not there?
is not changed.
No.
My fault.
You're good. Reggie Exon is not one of those questions. It is what it is. Come on.
There it is. Y'all see it now?
Yep, we see it now.
All right, good. Here we go. Ruston gets a bye, 1 seed. Airline, the 4 seed, bye. Destrehan, 3 seed, bye. Neville, 2 seed, bye. Here we go. Westgate hosts Terrebonne, 16 against the 17. Number 9, Walker hosts 24, Benton. Number 8, West Monroe hosts 25, North Shore. Number 5, St. Amant hosts 28, Washita Parish. Number 12, Sam Houston hosts 21, Mandeville. Number 13, Southside hosts number 20, Thibodaux. The bottom half of the bracket, number 14, Belle Chase hosts Parkway. Number 11, Salmon hosts 22, West Washita. Number 6, Zachary hosts 27, Barb. Number 7, Dutchtown hosts 26, South Lafourche. Number 10, Chalmette hosts 23, Ponchatoula. Number 15, East St. John hosts number 18, Central. And then number with the bye. I ask you first, VK, in your eyes, what is the best matchup in this round 1? Just give me the 2 teams. No explanation. Got a lot to get to.
Yes, sir, Mr. CEO. You got that. I think the most intriguing matchup looking at this whole thing here, it would be Westgate and Terrebonne. That would be interesting in itself. And then we just gotta see, it depends on the situation with Jabari Antoine, if he comes back. And if he is back, it's gonna be a great chance that Westgate's gonna pull that game off. So that's gonna be an interesting game. 2 contrasting styles going against one another. It's gonna be a good one. I think that matchup in itself is good.
Fans, I did tell him just give me the game. That's it. The teams. He gave me a whole paragraph. GP,
See that?
who you got?
You're asking for the best game of this first round?
The most.
It's a tie.
The most. Okay. What you got?
It's a tie. Sam Houston Mandeville, I think, has got a chance to be a really, really interesting football game. And Sam is hosting it. The other game, Belle Chase and Parkway.
Which is the
That could be an interesting. We can officially announce that.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, so we are headed to Belle Chase, to the cage.
Yep.
And it's a nostalgia trip for me and VK because the last time we were there, we broadcast that game in 2009. We brought that game. I started in 2009. VK followed a year later. So it's going to be a nostalgia trip for us. But that's my tie. It's the two. And no, I didn't purposely put Belle Chase and Parkway as that. It's a good segue, though. But Sam and Mandeville is going to be interesting. Very.
I got a tie also. A 3-way tie. East St. John and Central. I think Westgate and Terrebonne. Does Jabari Antoine play? That is the question mark right there. Does Jabari Antoine play? And the Belle Chase game against Parkway. Now, guys, before we move on to Division 1 Select, who do you think makes the semifinals? Your 4 teams that will make the semifinals. I'll start with you first, VK.
Woo! This is gonna be tough. I think Rustin will make the semifinals. They will go against. This is gonna be tough because that bottom half, some crazy stuff is gonna happen. I can see it. I can smell it. I'm gonna go out on a limb on this one because you see some strengths, you see some weaknesses on that bottom part. This team has just been overcoming everything in his path. I'm gonna go with Santa Mar in the semis.
Okay, you got two more teams.
All right.
The bottom
The
half.
other two, Destrehan, the championship experience will get them in the semifinals. Your other semifinal. Ah, man, I'm gonna be honest. This is gonna be another toss up. I got a feeling David Seminole about to come through Central in the semis.
Ooh, George Peppers. Who are your four
Oh,
semifinal teams?
oh, okay. At the top, man. Wow, how do you top that? Okay. Um, Goodness gracious. I think Rustin's going to get there on the top half. On the other side, who would they play? Here's why I'm going to throw a hellacious monkey wrench in here. It's easy to pick Saint Amant, and they've had a spectacular regular season. But I'm going to submit to you a team that's got a championship coach and championship experience, and I think very highly of this team. They haven't been talked about a lot. Walker is going to get to that. Actually, no, they can't. No, wait, hold
Okay,
up.
yeah,
Hold up.
you got Rustin.
Bottom half. Yeah, you're right. I don't trust Airline at the four. They don't play defense, and outscoring teams ain't going to get it done in the playoffs. So at the bottom, it would be easy to go for the story of Saint Amant, but I'm going to throw a bracket buster in here because there's always one bracket buster. They're not going to get to the dome, but they're going to get to the penultimate stage. I go to 6-5A and the Mandeville Skippers. I think they're going to turn it on. This is a team with underrated playoff pedigree, and I think they'll be the team that plays Ruston and goes bye bye. On the bottom side, Destrehan Zachary is going to be a salacious quarterfinal. Oh my goodness, it's going to be a great quarterfinal. But I have Destrehan going through, and on the other side of it, I'm not a buyer in Neville, and I'm not too much onto Central and East St. John. I think, but the team that caught a very good draw, and I think is going to make some big noise here. They're going to find their way to a semifinal. Dutchtown. I'm going to go Destrehan, Dutchtown, Mandeville, Ruston. That's my final four in Division One non-select.
All right, my final four. I have number one Rustin getting to the semis.
All right.
Rustin will take on 13 Southside. Remember, playoffs are about matchups, and Southside is part of that hard district of District 35A, Lafayette Lake Charles, with Acadiana and
Mm-hmm.
Carencro. I think they have the best matchup on the bottom part of the top half of the bracket to get to the semifinals. I'm looking at it. I don't see anybody on that part that could beat Southside. I got Southside taking on Ruston, and the bottom half, Destrehan and Neville. I don't think Dusttown, South Lafourche, Chalmette, Ponchatoula, East St. John, and Central can beat Neville. I got Destrehan and Neville. My four, Ruston, Southside, Destrehan, Neville. Quickly, y'all surprise teams. Mine would be Westgate if Jabari Antoine plays, and Central. VK, quickly, surprise team you think can get there.
Surprise team. I gotta agree. I'm gonna say Westgate. Also, you what was it? You said Central. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I said
throw.
Westgate and Central. My surprises.
And I'm gonna throw in Sam Houston as well. I think
Okay.
Sam Houston is battle tested, and I think they're gonna be ready to go.
GP.
I gave it away. Mandeville.
Okay.
I think the Skippers out of a rugged 6-5A can go to Sam and get the win. Sam Houston's had a terrific regular season. They have. This is not hatred on them, but I know what I know about 6-5A. They play physical, they play tough. If they're not too beat up, they're gonna make a run. It's all about matchups. You said it, JB. It's all about matchups. And Mandeville, past Sam Houston, they could do some damage, big damage. I'm gonna take the Skippers as my surprise entity in Division One non-select.
All right, cool. We're gonna go to Division One select. All right. Holy Cross, bye. Jesuit hosts C.E. Bird. Karen Crow, number 9, hosts 24, Pineville. Number 8, Acadiana, bye. Number 5, Edna Carr, bye. Number 12, Huntington will host 21, Woodlawn of Baton Rouge. Number 13, Alexandria hosts number 20 of Bonneville. Number 4, Brother Martin, bye. Number 3, Catholic, bye. 14, John Ehret hosts 19, Riverdale. 11, McKinley hosts 22, St. Augustine. John Curtis, bye. St. Paul's, bye. Number 10, Tioga hosts L.W. Higgins, 23. 15, Northwood hosts number 18, Rummel. And number 2, Captain Shreve. They have a bye. I'll go first. The matchup that catches my eye, to be honest with y'all, is McKinley against St. Augustine. Reason why, there's a St. Augustine team that's been struggling offensively, can't get right. And here's McKinley out of nowhere, 7-3, and hosting a home playoff game. So that kind of is intriguing to me. Also, Rummel going up to Northwood Shreve. VK, what you got?
My most intriguing matchup, and I'm gonna say Northwood Shreveport and Archbishop Rummel. Northwood has been they continue to improve each and every season. They're back once again, but I don't think they're ready for a Catholic League team like Archbishop Rummel, and they usually bring things on the road, especially in postseasons past. I wouldn't be surprised they'll do it again as Archbishop Rummel, and I think they'll get by the first round and beat us in Northwood Street. But I think this is going to be an interesting matchup in itself. It's going to be very, very close.
George Peppers?
I'm gonna stay in the Catholic League and go another way. Jesuit against Bird. Jesuit, courageous season. It was some bumps and bruises, but they had a courageous year, and they still eked out a home game. That tells you how strong the Catholic League is all the way, top to bottom. And they're the next to last team in the district, and and still got a playoff game at home. CE Bird's going to be a very interesting matchup. That's my game that most intrigues me. There's really not a whole lot of games here that I'll be like, oh wow, it just jumps out at me. But what about Rummel? Potentially 2 straight trips to Shreveport. They got Northwood Friday, then if they win, they go all the way back up to Captain Shreve. That's an impossible task for that group.
All right. We're going to pick our 4 semifinalists. I'm going to go first. I'm going to start at the top. The top half, to me, that is the gauntlet. This is the gauntlet right here.
Yep.
This is the gauntlet. I mean, Holy Cross, Acadiana, Karen Crow, Carr, Alexandria, Brother Martin. This is your gauntlet up here in the top half. This is the toughest part. But who I have going to the semifinals? I got Holy Cross getting to the semifinals. That was a tough one for me. That was my toughest choice, to be honest with you, out of the 4 I got. I got Holy Cross. I have Edna Carr getting to the semifinals. The bottom part of the bracket, I have John Curtis, and I have Archbishop Rummel getting to the semifinals also. Those are my 4 teams getting to the semis. When I look at Rummel's draw, you can't sit there and tell me Rummel can't beat all these teams. You can't sit there and tell me Rummel can't beat the Captain Shreve. They can't beat Northwood and probably face a St. Paul's or Tioga in the quarters. You can't sit there and tell me Rummel can't beat these teams. It's about matchups. 18C Rummel, in my opinion, is getting to the semifinals. My surprise teams, Acadiana, Karen Crow, Catholic, and Brother Martin. That's my surprise teams that can also get there. But I'm going with Holy Cross, Edna Carr, Curtis, and Archbishop Rummel, George Peppers. Who you got?
When I look at this Division One bracket, I don't blame you with going for Holy Cross, but can they withstand the physicality they're going to see in that potential quarterfinal against either or Karen Crow or Acadiana? I think Karen Crow beats Pineville, but can they withstand that kind of game? Karen Crow's defense was left haggard a little bit Friday night at Shaw in that score fest, but a revenge situation against Acadiana, can Holy Cross, especially if it's Acadiana, as great as Scott Watney has been this year, I'm sure that they passed that game there
It's tough.
to the quarters. I'm sorry.
I said it's tough. I mean, if they match it with
It
Acadiana
is
or Karen Crow,
because
it's gonna be tough.
it is it is the quintessential opposite matchup as far as style. Acadiana runs the veer. Holy Cross, you know what they run. They're a wide open group. Um, I'm going to pick Acadiana at the top. On the bottom side, this was also brutal. I think Edna Carr and Brother Martin are going to see each other in the quarters, and Carr is going to get to the semis. So Acadiana and Carr on the top side. On the bottom side, John Curtis Catholic's going to be a hellified quarterfinal, at least in name. But I'm going to pick John Curtis to get to the semi. And I get what you're saying about Rummel. Straight trips to Shreveport, then having to play potentially at St. Paul's. That's a big ask. If they get there, kudos to Nick Monica. That will be the coaching job of the year if they do that. On the bottom side, Captain Shreve scores a lot of points, and they have quietly done it. They are now recognized as the 2 seed in Division One. So Curtis will play and beat. Hmm, I don't want St. Paul's. I think St. Paul's going to surprise some people. They're quietly going along, and again, I'm a fan of teams that play in tough districts and aren't afraid to test themselves. St. Paul's, Curtis, uh, Acadiana, Carr. That's my four in Division One. VK.
Well, my semifinals here. I'm gonna start from the bottom first, go to the top because
Okay.
the top is so tough.
All right.
Bottom, definitely John Curtis. I think John Curtis has awoken. They're alive. They want to do this thing for JT. They really are hungry. They're going to try and defend their title. I got John Curtis
Mhm.
one side of the semi. They will take on. We understand Roma might have a chance at a rum. Captain Shreve has done unbelievable with a good district and also an impressive non-district schedule. I'm like this, man. It's gonna be interesting if they take on Captain Shreve. But my other semifinal is gonna be St. Paul's. I think Kenny Sears is starting to get sick and tired of all the animosity, all this other stuff been going. Like he can't get to the big one, he can't get to the dunk. He's sick and tired of it, and this team is starting to fight for him and show it like this might be maybe our time. I think St. Paul's to the semis. So St. Paul's and John Curtis. Other two semis, this is tough. On the bottom, I was so wrong about the Brother Martin Crusaders. I was so wrong about them last season. And I was so wrong about them a little bit this season. But it'll be them and Carr again. And Brother Martin is going to give everything they have. But I got to go with these Carr Cougars to get to the semifinals. They will take on. This is going to be tough because either way for Holy Cross, Karen Crow and Acadiana is going to give them a whole bunch of hell.
Exactly.
Whole bunch of hell. But I gotta agree with Jared. I got a feeling that Holy Cross offense is gonna carry going forward. And like I said, if they jump quickly on Kadian and Karen Crow, look out. Against teams like them, you gotta jump on them quick and stay on them. Because if you don't, if they get the upper hand, you're in trouble. But I like Holy
You
Cross
got to
and the car.
and your keys to Holy Cross for both of you. They're going to have to out tempo those teams. They cannot be on the sideline. Canatelli and company cannot be on the sideline staying cold with those teams. They've got to possess the football and win the time of possession.
I agreed, and guess what? They did it against Curtis, coming back from a two-score lead twice
Twice.
to win
Twice.
that game against a running team. They're battle tested.
Mhm.
They'll be ready.
I'm gonna say this. I know Romo had a lot of injuries. And they're getting healthy at the right time. Just gonna let y'all know that. So we're
I
gonna
agree
move
with
on
that.
to Division
I
Two.
get it.
I know. Division 2, non-select. North DeSoto, 1 seed, bye. Number 16, Lakeshore against 17, DeRitter. Number 9, Plaquemine hosts 24, Albany. Number 8, Iowa versus 25, Grant. Number 5, West Feliciana versus 28, Minden. Number 12, Opelousas against 21, Rain. Number 13, Abbeville hosts 20, Pearl River. Lutcher, bye. Assumption, bye. Number 14, Eunice versus 19, Bro Bridge. That right there is my most intriguing matchup. And got to remember, Bro Bridge was 28 last year and got to the quarters. Watch out for them. Number 11, Franklin Parish against 22, Northwest. Number 6, Bossman versus 27, Bruley. Number 7, Leesville against 26, St. Martinville. Can St. Martinville get it together with all that talent? Number 10, Jennings versus 23, Kaplan. 15, Iota versus 18, Church Point. 2, Cecilia bye. I said my most intriguing matchup for round 1 here. VK, your most intriguing matchup.
My most intriguing matchup on there, and I gotta agree with you, Jared,
What's
on
up,
that
Big
matchup
Easy?
between between you mentioned Eunice and Bro Bridge.
Yeah.
I like that matchup too. I think that matchup is very, very intriguing. My surprise team on this thing, and in my opinion, I think this team is gonna be dangerous. Watch out for them dogs from Jennings. Watch for them dogs from Jennings.
Okay. You got a surprise team already. George Peppers, your most intriguing matchup?
Normally when you look at 7 and 26, you're like, oh, that's a skullduggery, right?
Yeah.
Wrong. St. Martinville's got too much talent to get blasted by
What up, Big
Leesville.
T?
The Wampus Cats have been gold. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yes,
Go ahead. You good?
yes.
I know who. Okay. I'm looking at the bracket as I'm talking. Um, I think Leesville St. Martinville's an intriguing matchup to me because we know St. Martinville's got the skill set to compete. And I don't know if they have a flip the switch there, but they might need to. It's a doable matchup at Leesville. It's a tough environment to go in there and win, but that's an intriguing matchup because St. Martinville's got the skill and the talent to compete. They just have underachieved this year. Um, and maybe they turn it on in the playoffs. Who knows? I'm not sure, but that's my most intriguing matchup, JB.
All right. VK, top 4. Your 4 semifinalists.
Four semifinalists, and first of all, North DeSoto will be there in the semifinals off the top. This bottom is gonna be interesting because anything could happen here, but the draw looks kind of right and everything else. Because I ain't gonna lie, somebody's gonna get upset here. To be honest, I think it'll be North DeSoto Opelousas in the
Ooh.
semifinals.
Ooh.
It looks interesting, and Opelousas is just very, very battle tested. The other semifinal, and this is a kind of a wide open at the top to the bottom. First of all, on the bottom, I'm gonna go here. Cecilia in the semifinals. Cecilia has been battle tested all year long. They're in the tough side too. But I think Cecilia has overcame some things. Dennis Gaines got something really, really good. Cecilia Bulldogs in the semifinals. Your other semifinals. And man, what a year for Assumption. What a year for them. But my other semifinal, and I'm gonna go out on a limb. Give me Coach Cahey and the Walshman Wildcats in the semifinals.
Ooh. Okay. My turn. I'm going to start from the top. I got North DeSoto in the semis. And it's a rematch of the state championship from last year. They're going up against Lutcher. I think Lutcher gets there. The bottom, I have Cecilia getting to the semis. And VK, I'm with you. I got Walsman getting to the semis against Cecilia. I'm just not sold on Assumption. They had a great year. I think one or two losses. I think one loss. So can't take them lightly, but I'm just
Not at
not
all.
sold on Assumption yet. But that's my four. Cecilia, Walsman, Lutcher, North DeSoto. Surprise team is Opelousas. Opelousas. George Peppers.
This was a very tough bracket. Division two non-select. North DeSoto, if they had a better defense, would be an automatic ticket puncher to the semi. They could score, and that quarterback they had was an eighth grader in the Superdome last year, and they gave Lutcher a lot of heck. But then turnovers undid them. Dennis Dunn still coaches. Last I checked, the man is still a pretty proficient offensive mind. I almost, but I couldn't put myself to do it. I almost took Iowa to get here, but I said
Not a
no.
bad pick.
I don't think Iowa. Huh?
Not a bad pick.
No, but I feel like North Dakota is going to outscore them and out tempo them.
Just like
Iowa
last year
doesn't
they
play
did.
those kind of teams. They were, but Iowa doesn't usually play teams like a North Dakota that play wide open.
Right.
I think North Dakota will get to the semifinal on the top side. On the bottom side, on that bottom half of the top bracket, I can make a case for Opelousas because they've got a really good talent, a skill set. But I wonder if there's a little hangover to how they lost to Cecilia in a big spot. The playoffs are brighter, the lights are brighter, the urgency's higher. I'm going to go with the team I know can get here. That has the experience, but they've had a tough offense. Their offense is not as proficient as last year, but these matchups look for them. Lutcher and North DeSoto will play on one semi. In the other one, look, much love to Assumption and what they've done. They beat Lutcher this year,
He
so
did.
that's their character. That's their character win. But they've had a terrific regular season. Don't understand what they've done. Um,
What's up,
but
Trey?
Terrence Gahey and Wassman, here's what I'm scared of about Wassman. I get your guys' opinions of Wassman, but that waxing against Sterlington, that could be one of those psych things. It's like, oh, we're not ready for this. This was a spot where they could stand up and they got beat down. I'm not sure about Wassman yet. I think they could get through the first two rounds against Bruley and then either or Franklin Parish and Northwest. But you know what? Give me that gravy train. I'm gonna chalk, but they don't feel like a chalk assumption. And they will play Cecilia. Cecilia and Dennis Gaines, and this isn't because they send us merch. That's a very good football team. Very good. And Dennis Gaines and Clint Harrison have done yeoman's work there. Cecilia and Assumption, North DeSoto Lutcher. I'm chalk in this district in this bracket.
All right. Let's go to Division Two Select. Number one, St. Thomas More. Bye. 16, Northside hosts 17 Estruma. Number 9, Livingston will host 24, Booker T. Washington of Shreveport. Number 8, St. Michael the Archangel. Bye. Number 5, Archbishop Shaw. Bye. Number 12, Evangel taking on 21 Belair. Number 13, Vanderbilt Catholic will host number 20, Frederick A. Douglass. Number 4, John F. Kennedy. Bye. Number 3, Lafayette Christian. Bye. Number 14, Peabody will host Booker T. Washington of New Orleans. Number 11, McDonough 35 will host number 22, Landry. That's my most intriguing matchup. Number 6, St. Louis Catholic. Bye. Number 7, Turley's Catholic. Bye. Number 10, Madison Prep hosts number 23, Woodlawn Shreveport. Number 15, De La Salle hosts 18, Buckeye. And number 2, Edie White. Bye. I already said my most intriguing matchup because I think this can be a good game. VK, what's your most intriguing matchup of the first round? Which two teams?
I think it's going to be Madison Prep and Woodlawn Shreveport. That should be a very interesting matchup in itself. I think both teams are evenly matched, and I think that's going to come down the wire. I wouldn't be surprised it might be a defensive battle.
George Peppers, your most intriguing matchup, first round.
Most intriguing match is no contest. I agree with you, Jared. McDonough 35 and LB Landry. And give a shout out to LB Landry. Everything that could go wrong did go wrong before the season started, losing their head coach. They have overcome so much, and here they are in the playoffs with a reasonable opportunity at McDonough 35. I don't expect them to win, but I'll say this. That group has been battle tested all year long. They started very slow. They're starting to get a little bit of something going, picked off a couple of games. 35 better be on alert here. Landry can give them a major headache in round one.
All right, George Peppers, your four teams making the semifinals for Division Two select.
Under no pressure, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm talking to an Archbishop Shaw grad. All right. When I look at the top side, the presumption is St. are going to make it to the Superdome, but there are a couple of hurdles they're going to have to overcome. I don't think St. Thomas More has much resistance through the first two rounds with Northside and Estruma, and with all due respect, Livingston and St. Michael. St. Thomas More has a quarterfinal. They're going to get to the semifinal. St. Thomas More will get to the semi. On the bottom side of the of the top, on the bottom side of the top half of the bracket, Shaw Evangel is going to be a salty second round matchup. I expect Shaw to win. They'll beat Kennedy in the quarterfinal. I think Shaw, St. Thomas More at the top, and on the bottom side, I mean, I love what Kenny Bush, what Brock Mathern has done at St. Louis. They've done terrific work. But that train called Lafayette Christian, how do they get stopped? I don't think they have the temerity or the wherewithal to stop that team. Lafayette Christian makes a semifinal on the bottom. And on the other side of it, look, I'm a fan of this coach and I'm a fan of this team. Kyle Lacine and E.D. White, Lafayette Christian in the semifinal. So, recapping, STM Shaw, LC, E.D. White.
VK.
Well, off the top, I say it's definitely St. Thomas More makes the semifinals. I think, I'm gonna definitely say this right now.
Uh-oh.
Archbishop Shaw and John F. Kennedy is going to be a great battle in the quarters. It's going to be a great battle in the quarters. Archbishop Shaw will edge Kennedy in a close one. They will get to the semis. It'll be Archbishop Shaw taking on St. Thomas More. And also, it will be on the bottom, Lafayette Christian will make it. And I got to agree with George, and I've been saying it too about Kyle Sand and E.D. White. They're doing it again, and they're looking really, really good. So it's E.D. White, Lafayette Christian, Archbishop Shaw, St. Thomas More.
All right. I have St. Thomas More getting to the semifinals. I have Archbishop Shaw facing them in the semifinals. A rematch of the 2006 semifinals right there at Hoffman-Star Stadium, where Shaw beat St. Thomas More 10-0 to go to the state championship in the Superdome. So St. Thomas More versus Archbishop Shaw. The bottom half, I have Lafayette Christian getting to the semifinals. And I have Turlings Catholic defeating E.D. White in a close ball game. I think the passing game of Turlings will give E.D. White fits. I have Lafayette Christian taking on Turlings Catholic in the semifinals. So Turlings versus Lafayette Christian, Archbishop Shaw taking on St. Thomas More. My surprise team is only one. That's John F. Kennedy. I think y'all would agree with that, right?
Yes. Yes, sir.
All right. There we have it.
Pretty much.
Yep. So now we're gonna move to Division Three non-select. And this is gonna be a banger. This is gonna be tough. Number one, Gina by 16 Caldwell Parish taking on 17 Richwood. 9 Jewel Sumner versus 24 South Beauregard. Number 8 Amy taking on 25 Donaldsonville. Number 5 Bogalusa taking on 28 Westlake. Number 12 Lauraville taking on 21 Rayville. Number 13 St. Helena taking on 20 Port Allen. Number 4 Union Parish bye. Number 3 St. James bye. 14 Northwestern hosting 19 Patterson. 11 South Plaquemines hosting 22 Port Barry. Number 6, Manny hosting 27 Springfield. Number 7, Pine hosting 26 Red River. Number 10, Kinder hosting 23 Avoyos. 15, Marksville hosting 18 Manfield. Number 2, Sterlington by VK. Most intriguing first round matchup here.
Most intriguing first round matchup, and you got a good bit of them, man. I'm gonna be like this. I really like this A Meat and Donaldsonville matchup. You know, A Meat is at home, but this 25 seed Donaldsonville team is a very dangerous team, very improving team in itself. It's going to be very, very interesting how they meet in that first round.
All right. Um, for me, I'm kind of looking at St. Helena versus Port Allen. I think that might be a dogfight in itself between those two teams. GP.
You look at this three Division Three non-select, and this is a pretty wide. And look, you said it would be a banger. You're right. For the most intriguing matchup, this is a hard one to pick just one, but I'm going to do that, and I'm going to go to a group I know very well because I lived in this parish for 12 years. Marksville, Mansfield. The Tigers, after a winless year last year, in which they got outscored by over 500 and something points, three almost 400, no, almost 400 something points. They have bounced back with a great resilient record. They get Mansfield, who's an offensive team that can score. Um, I think that's my most intriguing matchup. Now, do they have a chance in round two? No, but for 15 and 18, that's the right type of matchup. It's to me the most intriguing.
All right. I'll go first with my top, my 4 semifinalists. So Division 3 non-select. I have Gina get into the semifinals. And they're gonna play Union Parish. And that's it's tough because man, you're looking at good teams from Emit and Bogalusa. But I got Union Parish getting to the semifinals against Gina in the bottom. I have number 3 St. James and number 2 Sterlington. Surprise teams, Emit, Bogalusa, and Manny. But I have Sterlington against St. James, Union Parish versus Gina, the top 4 seeds. Who you got, VK?
Oh man, I'm a, this is the one division I'm gonna be making some bold picks here. First of all, I could definitely agree with you, Jared, that one of the surprise teams is definitely Bogalusa, and they meet. But your semifinals, we'll start at the bottom. I think St. James will make it through.
Mm-hmm.
They'll take on Sterlington. That's going to be a great semifinal.
Yeah.
Gina will make it. It's going to be not easy because the biggest thing about Gina, this is probably one of their best teams, but the biggest thing is, can they get over the second round hump?
Yeah.
Can they finally get past it? Because we done seen some good Gina teams in the past, but they didn't get past that second round. But I think this is their great chance to get past it and probably get to the semis. That I got them in the semifinals. This is where the bold pick comes in. Looking at these matchups, Union Parish looks pretty straight, but I don't think they're the same team from last year.
No, they're definitely not.
I
They
think
played a
they're
they
not.
played a tough schedule.
Here's my bold prediction. It will be Gina Bogalusa in the semis.
Okay. GP.
Interesting, to say the least. I have questions about Gina's playoff propensity, but that talent is unmistakable this year. This feels like one of the best teams they've ever put
Yes,
out there
exactly.
in
Something
Gina.
special, Joe.
You
I
know,
get the feeling it's something special.
I mean, exactly. And I can't go against something special. When I look at the bracket, they're going to have a free pass to the semifinal. I don't think they have much resistance. Amita is too young. Jewel Sumner doesn't have the skins. Gina will make it to the semifinals. On the other side of the top half of the bracket, Bogalusa beats Union Parish. I get the logic. I don't think so. I think Union Parish will slug their way to the semifinals and go up against Gina. On the bottom side, oof, I don't like many. I don't think. I mean, even with the new coaching change, they've done a good job this year. This is not one of those teams. Taka Curtis ain't walking through that door. Um, St. James, I'm a little concerned with how they lost to ED White last week. They had to chase that game. There's not a matchup here they can't handle. I'm gonna go St. James to get to the semi, and Sterlington is just that team. They're gonna get to the semifinals. So St. James, Sterlington, Gina, Union
All
Parish.
right. Division 3 select. Here we go. St. Charles, 1 seed, bye. Number 16, Loyola Prep, host 17, Ascension Episcopal. Number 9, Notre Dame, host 24, Green Oaks. The Auburn Woods Charter, 8 seed, bye. Catholic New Iberia, 5 seed, bye. Number 12, Pope John Paul II, hosting Lake Charles College Prep. Number 13, Patrick Taylor, hosts number 20, Sophie B. Wright, which is a rematch of a game we called that Patrick Taylor won.
Yep.
Number 4, University Lab, bye. Number 3, Newman, bye. 14, North Lake Christian hosts 19, St. Thomas Aquinas. Number 11, Episcopal will host 22, ML King Charter. Number 6, Bunkie, bye. Number 7, Dunham, bye. Number 10, Parkview Baptist. They will host Jefferson Rise Charter. Number 15, Holy Savior Menard, taking on 18, Homer Christian. And number 2, Calvary Baptist, bye. Um, they got a few intriguing matchups. Pope John Paul II, very good year. But I think they might be taking on the most talented team that they're going to face all year in Lake Charles College Prep. That Patrick Taylor, Sophie B. Wright rematch. Oh, man, I don't think both teams really wanted to see each other again. But, hey, this is how the cards fell. And I think Holy Savior Menard and Homer Christian will be a good one. What you got, GP?
As far as the most intriguing matchup, you just touched on it. Patrick Taylor, Sophie B. Wright, in a game we called on the Hash It Out Show Game of the Week, and I gained a fan base from that night. Patrick Taylor's are fans of me, I guess. So there you go. Autographs are cheap, though.
Let me stop
Does
you. Let me
Patrick
stop you.
Taylor want that
One
ring?
second. 1 second, GP.
What's
Hold that thought. So we got Chris Huggard here. He says, does the 1 seed play at home the whole way? So pretty much a could be or no. So let's say, for instance, right quick, Chris, to answer your question. Here's St. Charles Catholic. St. Charles Catholic. All right. Loyola Prep wins. St. Charles is at home. If Notre Dame um plays the Auburn Woods and if the Auburn Woods wins, St. Charles is at home for the quarters. But just in case, let's say Lake Charles College Prep beats Catholic New Iberia. No, that's wrong. Sorry. Let's just say, just in case Notre Dame gets to the quarters to play
beats
St.
Auburn
Charles,
Wood?
Notre Dame will be at home. Crazy rule, the LHSAA. The first round bye is considered hosting a home game. Now, I find that to be stupid and ridiculous. You get a bye. You didn't host a game at all. But they call that hosting a game. So if Notre Dame would happen to get to the quarters with them only having one home game and the so-called two with St. Charles, Notre Dame would host in the quarterfinals. So that's how that will work. Semifinals, Chris, the higher seed will host regardless. But yeah, the quarterfinals, there's a chance St. Charles may go on the road. All right, George, back to you, my friend.
Are we talking about the most intriguing? I mentioned Patrick Taylor and
Hold on.
Sophie B.
1 second again. Chris, not Chris, I'm sorry. Kenny says that's not right. They changed the rule this year. Okay. If they changed the rule, then I'm wrong, Chris. But that's how it was last year. Kenny might be right that the higher seed hosts throughout. I would like that. I have no problem with that. So Kenny, if you
Me
right,
neither.
yeah, Kenny, you right. Props to you. Rule 613. Okay, cool. There you have it, Chris. The higher seed will host the quarters and the semis. There you go. All right, George. Back to the
Pepe's
game.
three. Okay, Pepe's 316. Since 613 is the rule, Pepe's 316. About to be another rule, but I'm just playing. Um, Patrick Taylor, Sophie B. Wright. It's a rematch of a game we did. And remember, Sophie B had a 2-score lead in that game.
Yep.
What makes that intriguing is that They were undone by Patrick Taylor's ability to stay with their game plan, and they started making mistakes. Sophie B, and they're not coming into the playoffs in the right frame. Patrick Taylor had a little bit of a hiccup 2 weeks ago. A little bit. What am I saying? Kennedy destroyed them, and then they came back and struggled a little bit against Haynes, but they were able to get their feet right, and they won that game. That's an intriguing matchup for me. Patrick Taylor, Sophie B. Um, and are we doing surprise teams or just the matchup?
We're gonna do surprise team in a second. We can go to
Okay.
VK right quick.
North Lake Christian and St. Thomas Aquinas should be a very, very interesting matchup. Both teams are very much even, and anybody can win that ball game.
All right.
Hmm.
Semifinal picks right quick before we do surprise teams. I'm gonna go first. My semifinal picks, and I'm gonna just tell you off the get go. It's the top 4 seeds. St. Charles Catholic against ULab, Newman against Calvary Baptist. Surprise teams: Lake Charles College Prep could be a surprise team. Caliga New Iberia and Dunham. Those two for sure you cannot leave out. Those two. Especially with Dunham that got to the dome last year. That's my surprise teams. George Prep is your top four or your 4 semifinalists.
Top top four semifinalists. St. Charles, pencil them in. The quarterfinal against Notre Dame can be interesting. I think Notre Dame would beat the Auburn Woods Charter if their coach keeps his mouth shut for the playoffs. Um, I think St. Charles would win that game. Their semifinal opponent, it's got to be University Lab. I mean, kudos to Patrick Taylor for what they've done, but they're not ready for that. Catholic New Iberia's got a solid shot, but I'm going to go ULab St. Charles at the top, like you at the bottom. It's never fun to pick against chalk, but I'm going to take Calvary Baptist to beat Dunham in a scintillating quarterfinal to get to the semi. Um, I really want to do it. I really do. But if this team recovers, fine. They're going to be tough. But I think Newman's vulnerable in a quarterfinal against either or Episcopal or Bunkie. Let us understand one thing: the Bunkie Panthers are 9-1 this year. They have an offense that is one of the most proficient offenses in the state. They score an average of 40 something points a game. That's going to be tough to stop. Newman can play that game too, but the psyche of getting skull dragged by St. Charles last week, they were in that game 3 quarters and it got away in the fourth. How do they recover? I'm taking a shot. I don't think Calvary's getting beat in the bottom side to get to the semi, but the Bunky Panthers, they feel like their only loss was to Gina. And if I like Gina a lot, I'm going to give Bunky a lot of props too. I think they're going to make a run to the semifinal and stop Newman. So Bunky, Calvary, St. Charles, ULab.
All right. Travis Jones. Yeah. I think LCCP had a tough schedule. And I think there's a run in them. I think there's a run in them. Um, at least to the quarters. I just don't see them beating St. Charles Catholic, and that's not no disrespect to Lake Charles College Prep, man. But I think the talent they got, they can make a run. Um and 098 Castro, thank you, man. We are discussing the brackets that came out today for the LHSAA high school football playoffs. So, and our good friend Nick Campbell, he says Cavalry won't be there. We saying semifinals, Nick. I know you don't feel that Cavalry will get to the dome. I know we talked about that. So, our good friend Nick Campbell, he said Dunham. Okay, he likes Dunham to get to the semis. All right, good deal. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. I love this. All right, guys, let's go to Division 4 non-select right quick.
I think you.
Wait, wait,
I
you
forgot something.
forgot VK.
I forgot. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
you
I
forgot
forgot.
VK. You got
I
to
got
get his
VK.
opinion.
How could I? Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Sorry, VK. I got with our
Now that
fans.
finger, now that
Man,
fingers.
interaction with talking with our fans that are watching that we truly appreciate. VK, I apologize, my brother. Your 4 semifinalists in your surprise team.
It's okay. You're just in your zone. It's okay.
Yes, sir.
My
Oh,
you're just in your
God damn.
zone. You all right, George?
Oh, I'm good. I'm just laughing at that low key that you just pulled, but it's all good.
But I'm checking things out here. I'm gonna start with my couple of surprise teams right quick. I do like Lake Charles College Prep in this one. I think they're gonna really do some damage here in the playoffs here. and Episcopal could do a little something. But at the same time, my semifinals, we go up the top, is definitely chalk. St. Charles Catholic, and it'll be University. The other semifinal, Bonky is having an unbelievable year, but I gotta go with Nelson Stewart and the Newman Greenies getting to the semifinals. You know, they will take on man, and I ain't gonna lie, Dunham and Calvary is gonna be a great matchup if they make it in the quarters. That is gonna be a hell of a matchup. And Nick, I like Dunham a lot myself because they are that good as well. But I think Calvary is so battle tested. It'll be a shootout to the death, but I got Calvary in the semifinals. So it'll be Calvary versus Newman, St. Charles versus University Lab.
All right. Now we go to Division 4 now. Select everyone who's still with us. Logan Sport by number 1 seed. Number 16, Franklin against 17, Grand Lake. Number 9, White Castle versus 24, Varnado. Number 8, Welch versus 25, Brazil. Number 5, Generette versus 28, West St. John. Number 12, East Feliciana versus 21, Elton. Number 13, Arcadia versus 20, General Trask. Number 4, Haynesville, bye. Number 3, Oak Grove, bye. Number 14, Montgomery hosts 19, Lake Arthur. 11, Oberlin hosts 22, Centerville. 6, Mangum hosts 27, Lakeview. 7, Homer hosts 26, Delhi. 10, Oakdale hosts 23, East Beauregard. And 15, Faraday hosts 18, Jonesboro Hodge. George Peppers, your most intriguing first round matchup here in Division 4 non select.
It's a tough one to pick on this side with the non-selection D4, but I'm going to go to the 15-18 game. Faraday and Jay Hodge. Jay Hodge coming back a little bit, having a little bit of a renaissance. Uh, they've had a solid year. It's a winnable first round matchup, if to say the least. I think Jay Hodge Faraday will be my selection as the most intriguing matchup in this Division 4 non select.
They got a big one. Winner of that game will face number 2, Kentwood. I'm with George, 15 and 18, Faraday and Jay Hodge. VK, what about you, my friend?
I think mine is 16 versus 17, Franklin and Grand Lake. Grand Lake has been a team that's been coming up. Franklin is, I mean, I tell you one thing, that area has been really, really jumping athletically. I mean, all their programs, from the basketball program to the football program to the baseball program, they've been really making some strides. So I like this matchup, and anything can happen in ball games.
All right, VK, your 4 semifinalists for Division 4 non select.
Okay. Well, first I'll start with my surprise team. That's Franklin,
Okay.
and White Castle could make some damage too.
Okay.
Semifinals. We're gonna start with the bottom. It's obvious who's going in the semis, in my opinion, on the bottom. It's the 2 seed Kentwood going against the 3 seed Oak Grove. Have at it. Somebody's going to the dome. The top semifinals. The one team is definitely gonna go is Haynesville. Haynesville will be there. The top, Logansport at one point finally got over the hump. They got to the dome, and I believe it was last year or the year before, George.
Um,
It wasn't
I
last
think
year.
it was the year before.
Yeah, year
And
before.
one last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was one of them years that Logansport finally got over the hump. It's hard, and they've been in this position before, and it's hard for them to get by. You know what I'm saying? They tough team looking to get there. I believe that semifinals is going to be Haynesville and watch this, White Castle.
All right. My turn.
Mm.
Everyone, I got the top 4 seeds in the semifinals. Logansport against Haynesville. Oak Grove versus Sterlington. Surprise team is Homer. George Peppers.
Sometimes in situations when you analyze, don't overthink. And in this case, I'm going to apply that theory. Logansport, Haynesville, Oak Grove, Kentwood, throw them in the pot, stir it up, and which two comes in New Orleans? I tell you what, we're in for a fascinating semifinal and final out of this group because this is going to be one of the more underrated championship games potentially with any of these four teams that get involved. I get White Castle VK. I just Logansport just has that look about them. They have that look about what kind of team they got. I think it's Logansport, Haynesville, Oak Grove, Kentwood.
I get it. I definitely get it with Logansport. But like I said, in playoffs past, they had this position, and they have not. They only got to that dome once. So like I
Mhm.
said, it's a hard one. It's a hard one. So I wouldn't
Right.
be surprised Logansport get there, but 1-8 wild stuff sometimes happens.
All right. Division 4 select. Vermilion Catholic, 1 seed by 16 Slaughter versus 17 Delhi Charter. Number 9, Ascension Catholic will host 24 Central Private. Number 8, Opelousas Catholic by. Number 5, Riverside Academy by. Number 12, Catholic Point Capee taking on 21 Cedar Creek. 13, Delta Charter versus 20 Covenant Christian. Number 4, St. Martin's by. Number 3, Washita Christian by. Number 14, St. Edmund versus 19 Westminster Christian. 11, Glenbrook versus 22 Sacred Heart. Number 6, St. Mary's by. Number 7, St. Frederick by. Number 10, Central Catholic versus 23 Hamilton Christian. 15, Hanson Memorial versus 18 St. John. And Southern Lad, number 2, by. Look, most intriguing to me is 13 Delta Charter versus 20 Covenant Christian. GP.
Most intriguing matchup in Division 4 select is St. Edmund and Westminster Christian. I think that's one of the more competitive entities here in this first round. Should be a really good ball game, and uh, I, that's my intriguing matchup.
VK.
I gotta agree with George. Say it ain't been in Westminster Christian. It's an interesting matchup between both of these squads, two contrasting styles. That should come
Mhm.
down to the wire. So I agree with George.
All right. Now, I'm going to go first. My 4 semifinalists in Division 4 select. Number 1, Vermilion Catholic will take on number 5, Riverside Academy. And on the bottom, number 3, Washita Christian will take on number 2, Southern Lab. If there's a surprise team, I did put St. Martin's, but I don't see St. Martin's getting past the quarters this year. I think Riverside is a monster in itself, and that's a monster that they don't want to face again, in my opinion. So that's what I got. Riverside versus Vermilion Catholic, Southern Lab, Washita Christian, George Peppers.
I'm pretty much in lockstep with you, JP. I'm gonna go Wichita Christian and Southern Lab in one semi. Duck Dynasty University, that's Wichita Christian. Vermilion Catholic has the looks about them to make a very big run. Was there some temptation to look at Opelousas Catholic? Maybe.
Right?
I don't think so, but I'm with you in the middle part. Riverside, I think it's a free pass. And they're going to beat Catholic of Point Capee or Cedar Creek, and they'll beat St. Martin's or whoever. It's probably St. Martin's. They'll beat them again. Even though rematches are always tougher on a team that won the first time, and especially with how emphatic Riverside was. But that potential matchup, Riverside, it's a bad matchup for St. Martin's. They've proven it the last 2 years. Rebels will get it done. They'll get to the semi. VC, Riverside, OC, and Southern Lab.
VK.
Gotta go with this. We're on the same, all on the same page on this one, man. I really think that is going to be Southern Lab, Washita Christian, and it's going to be an unbelievable semifinal. The main cat is going to have to earn their lunch, but they're definitely the favorites. But they will take on Riverside in the semis as well. I think the depth is going to be just too much for St. Martin's. Don't be surprised that Harlem Berry will have a much better game against Riverside. but it's just not going to be enough. Riverside's deficit is going to be too much. They'll get to the semifinals. My surprise team is St. Martin's as well.
Who you got on the bottom?
About him, I said Southern Lab, Washita Christian.
All right, cool deal. Gotcha, bro. Gotcha. All right. Our good friend DJ13 talking about McDonald 35 about to go on a run. So, everybody, we thank y'all for tuning in on the Hash It Out Show as we talk about the playoff brackets. This Tuesday, special guest, the head coach of the McDonald 35 Ron Eagles, Frank Daggs, will be joining us on Tuesday. Any word from Coach Dorsey, VK?
Not yet. We're still waiting on him. I will contact him again later on. And no later than tomorrow. I'll make sure that he'll join us. And we did tell him after that the game against us, that Patrick Taylor, that we will have him on the show. So I will make sure I get with him.
Most definitely. So that's on Tuesday, and we're gonna pick the non-select games, the first round games of non-select on Tuesday after the interviews. Wednesday, the head coach of the Parkway Panthers, Coach Coy Brotherton, he will be on the show with us Wednesday at 8 o'clock, and then after the interview with him, we will pick the select first round games. Friday night, the Hash It Out Show game of the week is Bell Chase taking on the Parkway Panthers. You can hear that live on tsbnsports.com. Friday night, starting at 6:20 with the pregame and the game at 7 o'clock. That's on tsbnsports.com. The Hash It Out Show game of the week between the Parkway Panthers and the Bell Chase Cardinals. So we're back Tuesday and Wednesday, and then Friday we calling the game. Travis Jones has Riverside versus Southern Lab in the championship. That would be a great matchup in itself. I wouldn't mind seeing that. Before we go, VK, you got any last words?
Man, I tell you, man, this was a good show tonight. A lot of people coming on tonight, man, all over the state. We definitely appreciate it. And you know, I think it's gonna be an exciting Friday night. It'll be the 3-man weave for the first time in the playoffs before the Archbishop Shaw Eagles gets a home game for the second round. That you ain't gonna join us, so but you're supporting your family, so I'm not gonna even knock you on that. But it would be great to have Archbishop Shaw and let me see what the is it is
Evangel Bel Air.
oh yeah, Evangel Bill, but I was talking about
If they
this.
play Kennedy, then we gonna do what we could do.
Okay. I'm just trying to make sure on that one that oh yeah, that Kennedy's the higher seed. Okay,
Yeah,
right.
They would host.
yes, it's possible.
And Kennedy, where does Kennedy play their games at?
Oh, they
Joe
play
Brown.
Joe Brown. It's at Joe Brown.
Oh, it's Brown. So that's New Orleans.
Oh, that's
Okay.
East.
Yeah. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like this. We're gonna do everything we can. If that matchup happens, we're gonna do everything we can to bring that to you for the Hash It Out
Mhm.
Show game of the week.
Everything.
We're going to fight to get that. Jared for Jared JB, we got to do this
They go Coach Straight.
because
There he is. My boy, Coach
mhm,
Straight. Coach at Kennedy.
there you go. We want to get that game. If that is the quarterfinals that they play.
It'll be the quarterfinals.
If,
Yep.
if they play quarterfinals, we gotta make that happen for the Hash It Out Show game of the week. We it's a must. It's a must. So don't
Mhm.
please don't get in our way because we're gonna get what we want.
DJ13. I'm gonna say this though. We had a whole list of games that we wanted to choose from. The Bell Chase Parkway one we chose. Your game with Landry was on that list. And yes, we know how you have Pan Am lit. We already know, man, when we did 35 in Salmon. We already know how you be. George Peppers, you got any last words?
Well, I mean, this is a pleasant gift to join you guys on a Sunday talking about the state playoffs. And there are other entities that are doing previews right now. Our good friends Jordan Taylor and company are doing Under the Lights, their playoff preview. As soon as we sign off, I'm going to head there and who knows, see what's going on with them. And obviously, they cover the Central Louisiana area. We get a good analysis from them. But looking forward to Tuesday and Wednesday with the coaches that we have on Tuesday. and Coach, the guy from Parkway,
Love it, sir.
uh, Brotherton.
Yeah,
We're looking forward to having him. And it's about ratings. It's about numbers. Parkway, if they're not going to make the drive down, because that's a 6-hour drive from Parkway to Plaquemines Parish. Parkway is nestled away in the northern part of the state. So if those of you from Parkway that are listening, TSBNsports.com is where you want to be to hear your team, your Panthers. But we're independent, obviously. But looking forward to raising our game for the playoffs. It is the playoffs. There's no more ho hum regular season. It's time to raise our game, and it's time for these teams. And to every team that has made the state playoffs,
yeah,
congratulations. We wish you all the best of luck. Let's have safe games that where no injuries happen, that each team gets out in one piece, and may the best teams win. Uh, and let may the best teams win these games. And to our alma maters, myself and VK's alma mater play Friday night. Aaron plays Thursday night against Riverdale. And yeah, Charles, I hope you still here, my boy. 'Cause, if we're out there, I'm gonna come find you. I'm gonna hunt you down, but I got some Kleenex for you. Got a box of Kleenex waiting for you. And good luck to VK, to your alma mater against McKinley,
Oh,
and Jared to your alma mater. To your alma mater, good luck to you guys. Shaw has had a spectacular year. The Carico win, signature in every way. Legit state championship contender. All I know is that these next 4 weeks before we get to New Orleans is going to be a heck of a ride. And the Hash It Out show, game of the week, and the show itself, we going to get on that flying carpet and take that ride with y'all. It's going to be fun times.
most definitely. We thank everybody who joined us today, who tuned in to watch our special playoff bracket release show. Thank you for tuning in. We're back Tuesday and Wednesday at 8 o'clock. So please be here with us. Couldn't do it without y'all. For VK Jones, for George Peppers, I'm JB the Sports Guy. We'll see y'all Tuesday. Y'all take care.
2600.
Thank you for watching the show.